serious? Are you serious? It's getting very serious out here. Get a cup of coffee. BP Earthwatch, I guess, yesterday did a video last night. I saw it yesterday evening where Mount St. Helens has had a series of earthquakes that are not being reported. I repeat, not being reported at all by the U.S. Geological Survey. And they're happening right inside, right on top of Mount St. Helens there, right in the dome area where the last eruption took place in May of 1980. I remember that election, that eruption. I remember the election too, by the way. The eruption, I was actually a senior in high school, and I was just getting ready to graduate. It was like a couple weeks before graduation when Mount St. Helens exploded, and it did. It blew the top of the mountain off. It was an incredible event, one of biblical proportions. Well, it's rumbling a little bit again. Matter of fact, there was some seismic activity taking place, and when BP Earthwatch began to dig a little deeper, we found out there's even been a landslide event, and maybe still ongoing, a little bit of a landslide going on up on top of that mountain. Now, if you've ever been to Washington State, it's a beautiful state. I've been to Mount Rainier, where we took a day one time. My oldest son was stationed at Fort Lewis, out there south of Seattle, Washington, and we actually took a day, the whole family, and drove out to Mount Rainier, went as high as we could go by road. And I'll never forget, it was a July day, and we were having a snowball fight when we got up there. Just a spectacular view of Mount Rainier. But I tell you, the beauty of these gorgeous mountains, these that were still volcanoes, it's not a pretty sight if they blow. And we may have something going on here. Now, he even looked into some of the seismic activity, and there was a quake. See, some of the people living in that area felt a quake. They called in, they felt it all over the place. They called in, hundreds of people did, and the U.S. Geological Survey and the local authorities there and what have you said there's nothing on the scales, there's nothing there. But there is. Matter of fact, inside some of the data, BP was able to find where there was several small earthquakes and tremors, and there was one quake that looked like could have been as much as a 5, yet it's not recorded anywhere on the U.S. Geological Survey. So that's what I was saying. They downsize the numbers constantly. They're recalibrating their reporting because they just don't want to tell you exactly what's taking place. The earth crust is moving and shifting, and we're under a ton of stress and pressure on this planet. But it's exactly what the Bible said would happen. There would be earthquakes in diverse places, different places. Famines would come. There's going to be chaos in the land. Give your life to Jesus Christ, folks. We're running out of time. Are you serious? Are you serious? Get some coffee and calm down. California coffee. I'm out here on the West Coast, of course, in San Diego, California. Here's the deal. Earthquakes like mad. Dutch Sense is now predicting more earthquakes to hit. And BP Earthwatch has been studying the patterns of the earthquakes. He's been studying the tectonic plates and their shifting. He has been studying the buoys from the earthquake of the 6.5 that we had just off the coast of Ferndale, California, and the 8.0 that hit in the Solomon Islands. We have had 60 earthquakes of at least 2.5 or higher in the last 24 hours, with half of them being in the Solomon Islands area. But it's not just limited to the Solomon Islands, okay? So it's going to be an amazing broadcast today. BP Earthwatch will be with me live. It will be powerful, and it starts at 12 noon Eastern at my website at www.paulbegleyprophecy.com. That's www.paulbegleyprophecy.com. Do not miss this broadcast. It starts at 12 noon Eastern. And then If Mike from around the world is available, we'll bring him into this show also, because the 5 waves of energy are also putting pressure on the earth. Remember, BP Earthwatch has been studying the speed of the solar winds on the sun. Matter of fact, I'm checking right now and tell you what the speed is right now, because normally the solar winds that come off the sun toward the earth are around 340,000 kilometers per second. Yesterday they were running 668,000 kilometers per second. Right now they're 619.9 kilometers per second. So all night long the earth has been getting hit with twice the normal speed of the solar winds coming off the sun. Why? Because the sun has this gaping hole over its atmosphere, nothing there to block the winds as they're releasing. And then we have Comet 45P Honda that's approaching the earth, headed this way. And of course there's other comets in play, and those also affect these solar flares and the coronal mass ejections that come from the sun. All of these things biblically are in the Bible that will be happening in the last days. Jesus said there'll be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars, and distress of nations with perplexity, the sea, the waves roaring, and men's hearts that fail them for fear, for looking after those things that are coming upon the earth. For the powers of heaven shall be shaken. Then shall they see the Son of Man coming in a cloud with power and great glory. And when these things begin to come to pass, he said, look up, lift up your heads, your redemption is drawing nigh. Paul said in Hebrews 12:26, for I will shake the heavens and not the earth only. In other words, the Lord's going to shake both heavens and earth in the last day. I'll be back with more current world events and how they relate to Bible prophecy. Give your life to Jesus Christ. We're running out of time. Are you serious? Are you serious? We've just had a massive earthquake, very strong and very shallow, 6.5. Now, it's not the biggest earthquake we've ever heard of, but at only 5 kilometers deep. This is extremely shallow, 6.5, Indonesia. Now, back in June, this same area had a 6.5 that struck off the western coast of Indonesia. Scores of buildings were damaged and destroyed. 8 people were injured. This one, just as powerful, but way more shallow. Way more. So this thing did some heavy reeling and rocking. We don't know. We really just don't know yet. It's just too early. It just happened less than 20 minutes ago. So look, just be praying for the people of Indonesia. I don't believe we're going to have a tsunami with this one, thank God, because of where the location of the quake. But pray for the people of Indonesia. And there's going to be some aftershocks. This thing was strong and was shallow. I'll be back with more current world events and how they relate to Bible prophecy. We're certainly living in the last days. Are you serious? Are you serious? What? Deep space. Listen, folks. Mysterious flashes have been discovered beyond the Milky Way. Matter of fact, here's a report at the CrusaderJournal.com. The massive flares of energy in an X-ray binary stars have been discovered. Strange X-ray emissions have been discovered in 2 galaxies, and researchers can't explain what's causing them. Matter of fact, the University of Alabama physics undergrad students under instruction from the professor Jimmy Irwin, he said he told them to look for examples of X-ray emissions from galaxies beyond the Milky Way, and to use the a telescope information as data. Irwin wanted the students to find ones at old global cluster galaxies. The students examined archived observations for 70 galaxies near the Milky Way. 2 brief flares were seen, separated by 4 years. Irwin explained both peaked in brightness in under a minute and decayed over in an hour. One flare was identified in the galaxy of NGC 4636 near Virgo. Another galaxy was NGC 5128 near Centaurus. When not flaring, the sources appear to be normal, asserting a neutron star. Okay? Now, they're located in old stellar populations, unlike the magneteers, these anomalies that are taking place have repeat and repetitive flares, and similar lumispheres have taken place, but not here. This is something very, very strange. When such burst of energy occurs, supernovas and gamma ray bursts are destroyed. But in this case, the 2 stars flared to the verge of exploding, but remained. So they ignited, but they stayed there. They didn't totally go away. And they're 4 years apart in a distant galaxy beyond the Milky Way. What is it? What is it, and what was it, and what does it mean prophetically? Now look, the Bible does tell us. Jesus said, as lightning cometh from the east to the west, so shall the coming of the Son of Man be. In a moment of a twinkling of an eye, we'll be caught up to be with the Lord. We'll be changed. Are you serious? You don't want to be left behind, and it's too late to pray. Boom! Just like flash, before you can blink, twinkle. It's over. Changed. Are you left behind? Are you saved? We'll talk about this discovery tonight on Sunday Night Live. Starts at 7 p.m. Eastern. 7 p.m. Eastern at my website at www.paulbegleyprophecy.com.